Hey guys, so before we get into the video, I want to mention that this is my very first video on YouTube whatsoever, and if you guys have any video ideas or you need a tutorial for something that you're struggling with, I'm absolutely down to post it. I'm going to be reading all the comments, so feel free to leave something in the comments for me. What's up guys, it's going to be my vertical tutorial. I teach you guys how to vertical on walls, and I teach you the main aspects of your vertical, like starting it and how to keep your vertical going, and some common issues and problems you guys might have starting your vertical. Alright, so the best place to vertical is over by the bagel tree, I believe is what it's called. Just follow me. How am I gonna love you? Alright, I guess I'm not video. Alright. So it's over here by Lucy's grave and back on this wall. Back where that huge hole in the wall is. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that huge hole behind me. Alright, sorry about that guys. It for some reason put me in a casual lobby, and I don't know why I did that. I was in a casual. Alright, so let's get on with the first part. And the first part is going to be starting your vertical, or your initiation. And there's like a few ways you can do it. The way that I do it, that I find the most useful and works for me the best, is starting with one Lucio, and it looks about like this. So it's kind of just this hand motion as well as this. It kind of looks like that up the wall. Just like that. And then you can start your vertical. The second way to do it is just basically two really big hits on the wall, and this is great if you only have one controller and you obviously don't have another hand to Lucio with, and that'll look about something like this. And then you can start your vertical. Now the third way you can do this is by basically just jumping into it, and some people like to do it like this. I don't find that very comfortable. I feel like I have a slow vertical when I do it like this, but it basically is just jumping into it, and then you do your vertical. Just jump, and then start your vertical. That's basically all there is to that. Alright, now moving on to the second part, which is the keeping your vertical going. And you gotta know how to keep your vertical going, otherwise you're not gonna be able to vertical. So, it honestly depends on what you play on. If you're like me and you play on Steam Physics with 60 Hertz, you're a little bit like more sticky to the wall. You stick to the wall better. You can do tinier circles with your vertical. But if you're like somebody on Quest and you're not so sticky to the wall, you can get pulled away from the wall easily, and those tiny circles don't let you glide up the wall, you kind of have to do it a little bit differently. So for all you Quest people, I'm going to show you guys how to do it first, because that's what most of the population plays on. So it'll look about something like this. So you start your vertical, say we use the Lucio method to start it, which is in my opinion, is the best way. So we start a vertical, and then you can do circles that are medium-sized circles, you could say. They don't want to be like real small Steam Physics circles, you know? You want to be like decently sized medium circles. And you really want to emphasize hitting the wall and pulling straight down. Because any form of disruption like this, hitting the wall like this, is going to push you away from the wall, and you're not going to continue going up. So keep that nice down motion, like you're just scraping the wall with the back of your hand. And another big thing people ask me all the time is my hand position. It doesn't really matter. Some people vert like this. I kind of vert like this with the back of my hand, but that is entirely up to you. You could probably even vert like that if you wanted to, but I don't see that being very comfortable. And now for the people on Steam. So if you're about like me, play on Steam, 60 Hertz like I said, you're gonna want to do tinier circles. For some reason, the physics are just different, and those tinier circles like this, kind of like this, lets you just glide up the wall super easy. And I don't know how it works, but it just works. So It'll look about something like this. Alright, well, I kind of punched something, but that was the general idea of how you could do that. I think I just punched my fan. Now, a lot of the problems that people have is they end up pushing themselves away from the wall, and a good way to fix that is just practicing your hand motion. It also can depend on the wall you're on. Like I said, this wall right here is literally one of the flattest walls in the game, and it's slightly angled a little bit, so you can kind of like vert up the wall like that, and it makes it a little bit easier. But that's definitely one of the easiest walls to vert. To keep yourself from floating away from the wall, I guess you could say, is practicing just hitting yourself straight up and down and staying on the wall. This has helped me out a ton, because I realized after I did this that I was hitting diagonally and it pushed me away from the wall. So this is kind of like a little drill that gets you to practice hitting straight up and down instead of diagonally. And you just kind of want to stay in the same spot for as long as you can. Nobody can really do this forever, but it is a good way to just kind of find out what you're doing wrong. So you guys can try that out, tell me if that helps. And now, the second most common problem is getting your hand stuck on the wall. I see a lot of people go for verticals. They'll start their vertical. We'll pretend that was a good start. They'll start their vertical, and they will like circle, and their circle timing is just bad. And you might get like stuck on the wall and get flung down or something if your circle timing is bad. But sometimes that happens to people, and you just gotta build up a rhythm. And speaking of rhythm, that is the third thing that people don't really do when they are vertically. This is probably one of my biggest tips, is to have a good rhythm on the wall. Now, like I said, this kind of depends on what you play on, because when you're doing tiny circles like this, like a Steam player, your rhythm is going to be different. Like, you can listen to the sound of your hand hitting the wall and make that your rhythm. Now, if you're a Steam player, your rhythm is going to be real short, like a whole bunch of beats per minute, and your Quest player, not so much. So you kind of just have to figure out what works for you. That's basically all there is to verticaling. If you guys have any other questions or need help, leave it in the comments section. I will find your comment. I'll tell you guys what you're doing wrong. And if I do have free time, I will get into private codes and help you guys if you need it. So if you really are struggling, don't mind putting your Discord name or something. I'll add you. I'll teach you guys how to vertical and other stuff if you need that as well. And if you guys have any other tutorial suggestions or things you're struggling with, put those in the comments as well. I'll help you guys out, make some tutorials for you guys, and thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, by the way. Please.